Welcome to Approved Home Pros. I am your host and co-founder, Sean Johnson, here joined again by my good friend, our resident expert, Greg Cantor from Murray Lampert Design Build Remodel. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Oh, really good. Doing really good. Got a couple of funny stories to tell, and you got some important things that you wanted to cover in a little bit. But today on the show, we have some great topics. Number one, you ever feel like you're being sold? And that shouldn't be the feeling when you're having a home improvement done. You should feel like you're being consulted. So we have
educated as well.
Educated. So we have Paul Frankel from Perkins Custom Coatings in with us this morning to help learn a little bit about that, about what it means to be consulted properly and with the floor and deck coatings that he does. Also, is your home smart or maybe a little bit behind the times? I think mine's a little behind the times. Phil Edwards from Jamar Power Systems is here to talk about basically maybe we're going to be doing an IQ test for your home. Do you have an actual IQ test we could do? It would be funny if we
How
could.
smart do you want your home to be?
Exactly.
Right?
And then home improvement loans, construction loans. There's a variety of things and options that I didn't realize were out there. Greg's been educating me a little bit about it. But we're going to be talking a little bit later in the show with Danny Fitzpatrick from Guild Mortgage, all about all of those things and be able to answer all your questions there. It's going to be a really great segment. Earlier today, we were on Channel 10, as we always are, with our check-ins at the end of the newscast, 6:55 and 8:55, where we bring you the screened and vetted pros. Basically, Greg, for those people that don't know, our experts identify, screen, and approve the best companies in every trade in San Diego and bring those to the people free at approvedhomepros.com.
Right. And then, the pros protect consumers. When we only bring in the best of the best, and there has to be 100% unanimous vote that we bring when we bring new people in.
Yep. We want to make it free, easy for people to find the best pros and protect themselves from the predatory ones and the ones that are less quality. And that's just who we are and why we exist. Greg, you actually have a story. You've been doing a lot of great news stories that you found related to some people doing things the wrong way with some dangerous stuff. What
yes, the EPA announced just about a week ago that they fined several companies, one of them being in San Diego, that does renovation on when in real estate transaction. I won't say any more than that.
We won't give the name away, but they do
but
renovation in realty related areas.
But it's staggering because I'm out there talking to people all the time that most contractors do not advise homeowners about the hazards of lead and asbestos. They don't handle it properly. They don't do testing. So this is kind of a good thing for consumers to see. We're going to post this article on approvedhomepros.com, but it's a news release from the U.S. EPA, and the fines are huge for mishandling hazardous materials.
So basically, a contractor in San Diego got caught not handling it the right way because you're supposed to control the exposure of people in the area to those hazardous materials, right?
Well, first of all, you're supposed to test, and then you have to have a licensed remediation company handle removal and disposal of the materials. And in this case, this company was fined $41,000 for mishandling it.
And I think this is so important, too, because what you see, and I've heard it from people, is because we are out in the industry all the time checking out different companies. A lot of lesser companies will say things like, oh, the regulations say this, but that's so expensive, I don't want to do it that way. Or, oh, I don't want, they cut the corners, and that puts people at risk. And it puts the company at risk, obviously, when you get caught.
Well, and adults are susceptible to, health issues, but children, especially under the age of 6 years old.
So we're going to have that article posted on Monday on approvedhomepros.com in the show extra section. Also on Facebook, Greg? Yes?
Yes, on Facebook.
On Facebook. Okay, wonderful. I was going to tell a story about a DIY that I recommend nobody do, which was related to me cutting my own hair.
I see the picture right here, and I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's a DIY project I never recommend anybody undertake, especially with the assistance of your teenage son. We don't have enough time to really go into it, but if you want to go on Facebook at Approved Home Pros and laugh at the two lines up the back of my hair that my barber had to then fix. Long story that we don't have enough time for, but if you want to laugh at me, go ahead and go on there and you'll see it. Let's jump into the content because we have a packed show today. So let's go over to Paul Frankel, our good friend from Perkins Custom Coatings. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good. How are you?
Really, really good. I'm doing well. So our topic today is consultant, not salesperson. Let's set the stage for that, though, so people that haven't heard you before know what you do with Perkins Custom Coatings. You do coatings decks, floors. Describe what you do.
We have a garage floor coating business. This is our 11th year. We also do deck coatings, and in both of those applications, we use products that I believe are a little unique in the marketplace. The product in garage floor coatings that we use is called Spartaflex, which is a 100% solids polyaspartic, which is a much better material for garage floors than epoxy. And for deck coatings, we use a product called Toughflex, which is a flexible waterproofing membrane, and then finished with various colors and aggregates to make the deck look beautiful.
And what I love about Paul, because I work with him, I've referred him to other clients of ours, is that you don't really sell, you educate and
consult.
Consult. And there are different applications. If you go to a normal company that does garage epoxy, that's all they're going to sell. They don't really care what the existing conditions are. They just want to make that sale.
Yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to go, Greg, is that what allows you, Paul, because we've seen it in action, to be so consultative in your approach? Is it because you have so many different products to offer, the years of experience? What allows you to go in and not have to sell somebody something, but consult with them?
That's a good question. When I first got into the business, I used to feel like I could walk through a wall for a customer because the manufacturer would say, our product will do this, and if you sell our product, the results will be this. And I've learned over the years that there are exceptions to the rules. And I've calculated once that I visited about 15,000 homes over the last 11 years. And so during sales calls. And so, I've seen applications that we've, installed where the manufacturer's products didn't work the way I expected them to work or the customer expected them to work. And I've kind of tempered my my expectations to be more realistic in terms of, what conditions, when I walk into a house, what conditions are present, will the products work properly? Are we talking a short-term solution, a longer-term solution? So, the biggest issue generally for what we see is homes built before 2005, which is where the vapor barriers were first added, and homes in that era, 2005 and earlier, generally have some moisture problems that have to be addressed. And sometimes that's an issue, sometimes it's not. Our experience, again, about somewhere between 15 and 20% of the homes that we visit have very, very high levels of moisture. And it's not only discussing the moisture. In many cases, the homeowner doesn't know the moisture is present, and I have to, because it may not visibly be present. But then we will help them identify where the moisture may be coming from and how to correct it.
Hey, Greg, this is an area that I think is important for people to understand. That, as you said, a lot of the other companies in this field, and I think it's true in a lot of others, because they have one product they're going to sell, they're not going to look in depth at the application, the long term. They're going to look at what can I sell today that matches what the customer thinks they need versus the years of experience and having the products. Is that's a key in that consultative approach to you? Very
much a key, and I can empathize with Paul because when I go out, I handle things the same way. I educate, but sometimes I've found now that I can't save everybody. And if somebody's looking for the low price and one of the other companies is offering a product that is cheap, sometimes you do your best to educate, but you're fighting a losing battle at times.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and I think fortunately for us, we have been a good member of the contracting community for a long time, and we're busy, and that's I think it's a testament to the fact that we do the things the right way and approach the jobs responsibly.
And people see that you test for moisture and they know that you're doing it right, so you're going to win more than you're going to lose that way, right?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
But When we come back after the break, because we're about to go to a break, I want to talk more about that end product and how your that consultative approach and knowing these things gives people the final product they want, the garage floor they want, the coating they want, the deck coating they want, because that's what people ultimately want, is to have that beautiful final product. Quickly before we hit break, what is your phone number people can reach you to get you to consult with them?
619-333-8783.
Okay, after the break, again, how do you get that beautiful floor you want as Paul and Perkins Custom Coatings, in English, Perkins Custom Coatings, comes and consults with you after the break. We are Approved Home Pros, your free, easy resource for expertly vetted, screened, approved home pros. And one of those great companies that's been with us for a very long time is Ace Hardware. And I believe we have Stacy Jess on the line from the Forest Ranch, Ace Hardware. Are you on the line, Stacy?
Yes, I'm here, Sean.
Oh, hey,
Good morning.
Great to have you. So today we have a pretty big thing going on over at your store, yes?
Yes, we have a big day planned. We have our neighborhood paint party going on all weekend this weekend, where we have the buy one, get one free offer on Clark and Kensington, Valspar, and Royal paints. And then today from 11 to 2, we are having a color contest where our customers are able to create their own color and then name it and then enter into a contest to win up to $1,000 if they're selected to go to the national contest.
You got to tell me, how do people create their own color? Are people sitting there with mixing things, or is it going to be like a finger painting party, or how does that work?
Exactly. We have a bunch of paint samples here where they can put some paint samples onto plates and mix their own colors. And it's really fun to use the color wheel and add whites and blacks to some of the different basic colors we have to create some really fun new colors.
I think you should have the ugly award too, because I'm sure some crazy colors come up, right?
I'm sure, yeah. Sometimes it takes a little trial and error, but we have great instructors here to help people figure out the best way to do that.
Every time I've ever tried something like that, it always turns out to be like this greenish brown,
Yes.
ugly color. So, yeah, I would need the help of your experts there.
So I've been to
Exactly.
the Ace Hardware stores and seen the beautiful paint studios and the great products that you have.
They're the best.
Yeah, and we'll be doing that in the Hillcrest, the Oceanside, and the Forest Ranch stores. We're going to be doing that coloring contest today. So make sure to stop by one of those stores.
And you have a BOGO sale as well, right?
Yes, that's the best paint sale of the year. So really take advantage of that if you're planning on doing a paint project this weekend or even in the near future. Come on in and get those free gallons of paint.
The other thing I'm going to mention is Heather, my wife and other co-founder of Approved Home Pros, is at the Forest Ranch location. She's going to be there all this morning with the Approved Home Pro setup and interacting with people, having fun. So head out there today to the Forest Ranch location or any of the other locations that Stacey just mentioned. Interact with these great paint party events. And if you need some paint, it's a great time to pick it up. And paint is the easiest DIY way to make a huge change to your home. It's for the investment. You're going to get the big change for your home. So head down to Forest Ranch and say hi to Stacy and Heather when you're down there. Anything else, Stacy?
That's great. No, we have Sean or Heather making on some colors right now. So we'll post those on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we got to get some pictures of that. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Head on down there and see them at the Forest Ranch. Thank you, Stacy.
Okay. Thanks, Sean.
Bye-bye. Well, we are back now with our good friend Paul Frankel from Perkins Custom Coatings. And Greg, we've been talking about the difference between a consultation and a sale. And most people that I know would rather be consulted and educated than sold. There's a feeling when you're being sold that it makes me kind of feel uncomfortable. I think people pull back. And I'm a salesman, right? And that's where I know that I can't try and sell, which to me means pushing something on somebody. And people sense that, Paul. I think they pull away rather than, I bet they lean into you when they start hearing you educating them about the way to get the final product they want to get. Yes?
Yeah, I would say that, and I think it has something to do with the experience, obviously, and one of the things that was initially very appealing, and I've definitely felt this way since I've been in the network, is that everyone that you have in this network really has that same approach. It's a very comforting feeling talking to all your contractors in the network, because everybody has a lot of experience and they approach every project that they're involved with with a kind of a sense of greater good and responsibility.
Well, thank you for that. I think that is one of the things when you're interacting with somebody that's going to be doing an upgrade on your home or a service on your home, you should have a piece about it when you interact with them and a sense that they're on your side rather than trying to convince you of something.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think we have something that none of the other lists that people use has, and the heart that people have and the concern about doing the right thing and doing a quality job.
Exactly. I think that that's one of the essence of everybody in the network. So thank you for saying that, Paul. With your specific situation, what people really care about, the reason they call you is they want that floor or that deck to look a certain way and have a certain feel to it. How do you, in that consultation process, find out what it is that they're really looking for and then help them match that with the right application? How do you consult with them on that side?
Well, we again, it all starts with an on-site consultation. There's very few times where I will not see an installation before we will arrive to do the work. Something that I just feel more comfortable with, and so during that initial observation, I will look to make sure that the products will work, obviously, but I'm also looking for perhaps conditions that not only will affect the way the products work and their performance, but also may be a detriment to the homeowner and the house itself.
Let's back up even and I think that's fundamental, but to the ultimate end product. People are looking for a look, I think. The consumer wants it to last. They want all those things, but I think they're going for a look or a feel.
Yeah.
Do people generally know what they want it to look like when you arrive, or are you having to educate them about some of the options of the looks and the finishes and those kinds of things?
I think most people do want, they've seen something at somebody else's house. They want to try to match it, or they want it to look much better than it is now, and they're considering various options to do that. So we definitely get involved in helping to determine, what the finish is going to look like. And there's lots of products on the market. We in the garage floor coating side of our business, a lot of we sell basically every finish that people can have or have seen, and so a lot of times it's about listening. What are they looking for? On the deck coating side, there's lots of products out there. Again, Greg will attest to this, that look great but only last a very short period of time. And I don't like selling any of those products. One of the reasons why we kind of got hooked up with Toughflex is that their products last an incredibly long time.
Well, and I like that you don't always look to replace concrete. You have 3 or 4 different ways of treating it that's the best application for that particular job.
Yeah.
And that's, again, another reason why we endorse Perkins Custom Coatings for any garage floor, any floor coating, any deck coating need that you might possibly have. They also honor the 10% off up to $500 approved Home Pro discount. So rest easy knowing that you're going to be consulted when Paul comes out to your home, not sold anything. And I think it's key to know that it is Paul personally who will generally come out to every one of these consultations with your knowledge, your expertise. It's pretty much always you, correct?
Yep.
What's the number somebody calls to talk to you and get you out to their home?
619-333-8783.
One more time.
619-333-8783.
And you can always find Perkins Custom Coatings and all our pros at ApprovedHomePros.com. And these garage floors and different coatings, they really do change the look and the feel of a home. It is a beautiful thing, and Paul is the best in the business at doing it. So thank you, Paul, for coming in. You're listening to Approved Home Pros, your source for free, easy access to locally screen-vetted approved home pros, like Jamar Power Systems. Mr. Phil Edwards, you're back on the air with us. Great to have you today.
It's great to be here, Sean.
Greg, we're talking about a topic that is one that you're very, very well versed in. I'm not so much. So what are we really talking about here today?
Well, we're talking about home automation, and there's a lot of different ways to approach home automation. It could just be switching and shades for your home, but it can be a total smart home, and there's different devices iPhones, iPads, Android devices that control everything.
So let's start from the beginning, Phil. What is a smart home for somebody like me that's not well versed in all this stuff?
Well, I would define a smart home as a home that you're able to interface remotely through an app,
Okay.
primarily, and then it has features that are above and beyond what you would normally use. Like, for example, instead of a switch, you have a dimmer that you can control from any location, or you have a thermostat that can be programmed to turn on and off at a certain time.
So is my clapper considered do I have a smart home with my clapper?
Well, in the 1970s, that was probably the first smart home thing that came along.
But that's not the extent of it anymore, for sure. There's a lot of amazing things with the smart home today. What are the most common uses that people have, or the most common driver people have to get a smart home? What do they want?
Well, what we see as an electrician is primarily lighting controls, and then generally shade controls, where they're raising and lowering their shades. And then, of course, most people, once they go there, then they want to start integrating their thermostat into that, or a security system.
And what's a nice solution, and I know you're a big seller of this product line, is Lutron, because it starts with just the switches, and those typical products, but you can add the radio raw systems that are scalable and control your indoor and outdoor lighting. And they even have shades that are sold by Lutron that integrate in as well, right?
Yeah, the idea is there's a lot of product out there, but Lutron is a great product. It's very easy to use, and it uses a frequency that is unique to it, so it has a lot less interference than other products that are out there.
And those Lutron shades and the shades themselves, one of our other pros in the network, Legacy Shading, it just advocates those tremendously because the look of the shades themselves are just so beautiful. So I want to dig more into kind of the future of some of these things, but also what it takes to get your home wired and set up for this, what kind of some of the levels are, and can somebody like me possibly get there? We're going to be doing, and I'm sure I can, but I'm kind of at the beginning level. So when we come back, we're going to be talking to Phil a little bit more about your smart home and making sure you have it the way you want it to be, all on Approved Home Pros. Welcome back to Approved Home Pros. We are your expertly screened and vetted source for the very best home improvement companies, contractors, home service companies in all of San Diego, such as Night Security. I believe we have Richard on the phone. Richard, are you on the line with us?
Yes, good morning, Sean. How you doing?
Very good, Richard. It's been a couple of weeks since we've talked, and I've been anxious to get you back on the air. Richard is our resident security expert. He's there to answer any of your security questions. And today we wanted to talk about, Richard, is hardwire better than wireless? And it's a great day to talk about that because we have Phil Edwards from Jamar Power Systems in, and he's talking about smart homes and some of those things that are available. So let's talk about systems for security, wireless versus wired, and what some of the options are.
Okay. This question I get all the time, and some people are concerned about cost one way or the other. The issue is each technique has its place. When it's possible to hardwire a home, it is still definitely the better way to go. But then when there is no other way to put in devices, or, as you say, options such as water sensors, smoke detectors, medical emergency buttons, wireless is a very affordable and reliable option. So you can interface the two techniques together, and that's the key.
So that's great to know, because as we were talking earlier with Phil, he was talking about the ability for the smart home and all the different things it can do and the different kind of plugins, for lack of a better term, you can have. And security is one of those great ones with a hardwired smart home. And you said that's more ideal than wireless, but wireless can still work, but more ideal is the hardwired system.
Wireless just gives you the ultimate flexibility. When you come into a home where it's already built, completely done, there may not be the option of running wires, and wireless gives you this incredible flexibility. Increasingly, people are looking for cameras in their homes, and that, again, there are now wireless cameras that can be put in to augment the basic security. So it's great for the consumer. He can literally have almost anything he wants.
I think we should in the future. It's Greg, Richard here.
Yeah.
Talk about cameras. That's for a whole nother time, but I think we should talk about wireless cameras and that integrating that into your systems.
You bet.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great topic in the future. Thank you for shedding a little bit of light. I love learning that the hardwired is one set of options that may be the stronger, but the wireless so adaptable that you can retrofit any home and go in and make that home safe and secure with night security. What number do they call you, Richard? And this is a number not to just schedule an appointment, but to ask Richard any security question you need at all. He's a former police officer there to answer your security questions. If somebody calls you at 619-797-6603, are you there to answer the questions?
I am there from 8 o'clock till 5 every day, and as you say, I will just simply answer their question because information's the key, and I'm delighted to do that.
619-797-6603 or approvedhomepros.com/night. Thank you, Richard. We'll talk to you again soon.
You bet, guys. Have a good day.
So we're back now with Phil Edwards from Jamar Power Systems talking about the smart home and what's possible with a smart home. And that was a great little fit that we didn't even plan there, because off the mic during the break, I'm trying to get my mind around some of these smart home capabilities. And really what we were saying, Phil, is that what you provide is the basic skeleton for the home that is smart, the wiring that allows you to do any of the other applications that you want to plug into it, correct?
Right. And as we were talking about that, each person has their own ideas on what they want to do. So it's very important that you have that initial consultation with somebody that actually has installed the systems, that knows the capabilities of all the products and how they integrate with other systems, so you can take an intelligent approach to going forward with your home automation project.
And I have to say, it is important. I mean, people consider DIY for this. I mean, you're working with electricity. You need someone that knows how to wire the system, as you say, Sean, the skeleton, but it has to be wired properly. The interface is done right, and there's programming involved too, which not just anybody can do. I mean, to program it right and make it user-friendly, that is a huge part of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't want what I wanted to be a smart home to end up as a really dumb home because you did a DIY project that didn't do it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart DIY with a smart home is it's a way to get started to see if this technology is something that you actually like to use. But once you start getting into it and you start using different platforms, you'll soon find out that not all of the components talk to each other. So then you start running into problems.
And you don't want a hodgepodge of things that don't work together. You want something that works seamlessly.
Right. So you're really you're creating something. If you start in the beginning creating something that with a plan, you'll be successful.
That goes back to the consultation on the front end. Greg, I wanted to talk with Phil so that people can really understand this in their own lives. Give us a sense, an average person that has a smart home that's really used it the right way. What is their life like in the beginning? From the time they wake up, what are some of the things that they would have in their life that they would notice with the smart home?
Well, they don't have any problems anymore, and life is great.
So no more taxes. Their kids are in line. The car changes its own oil. No,
it solves all your problems. No.
The government's gone.
Let me give you an example. Say you have a smart bulb, and in your light next to your bed, and it turns on at a certain color in the morning, and then you have a path to the kitchen in the morning lit up, and then your coffee's ready for you. Things like that are great examples of things that you can do with a smart home that you're just not going to do with your regular switches.
What I really like too is I always see problems with outside lighting, with the motion sensors and just the way outside lights work. And you can integrate your outside lighting into the system so it turns on when you want it to turn on and turns off when you want it to turn off. And it's just really seamless.
Nice. Yeah, I'd love to have all of these things. I'm at the very beginning stage. We have the Alexa, and we need to get. I might do what you're saying is just test it by getting one little thing to plug into it and see if I like the smart home. But I'm sure that I will. Phil, you honor the 10% off up to $500, and you are just such a great company that's been in the network since the very beginning. If you want to call Phil and get a consultation on this, 619-333-8662. That's 619-333-8662. And you have a special right now where it's a $77 consultation that you can use for this or for really anything else for your home, correct?
Yeah, the $77 service special. You get a certified electrician to your house that can consult you, or he could take care of any little needs that you need, and it includes the first half hour of service.
Okay, thank you so much. And for those of you that heard that, the building is not falling down. That was
I pushed
Greg
the cough button, but it didn't work, I don't think.
Yeah. Microphones are neat, Greg. They pick up sounds, and things like ripping papers in front of them actually make it on the air.
Sorry about that.
Hey, we are radio professionals. We don't everybody's laughing. We don't have a lot of time before the break, but I wanted to introduce Danny Fitzpatrick from Guild Mortgage. Danny, we only got to have about a minute before the break. Let's tease people. What are we really going to talk about so people can stay around, because it's relevant to a lot of folks?
Yeah, so we have loan programs that allow people to finance homes in any condition, homes with cracked slabs, structural damage, mold, termite, lead-based paint. Greg was mentioning that a little while ago. Anything where you have an issue with your home, we can finance that home with a standard 30-year fixed mortgage product.
And you can finance even a home that somebody started a remodel on, where no other banks that I know of can do that.
Exactly.
So stay tuned, because after the break, we're going to be talking about this. There's so many options that I didn't even know were available that can help you get the home that you want with these renovation financing programs and options on Approved Home Pros. Welcome back to Approved Home Pros. And Greg, one of our Approved Home Pros that we are huge fans of, Thompson Building Materials.
Yes, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the event, but there was a huge Home Pro event this last Wednesday night,
Wednesday night? Mm-hmm.
And people were just in awe of, there's a lot of new people that came to this event that hadn't seen Thompson's showroom, the indoor and outdoor space that's just has everything you can imagine, and it's a great place to start out if you're remodeling or doing landscaping or a pool. Start out there. So they're at 6618 Federal Boulevard, only a few miles from downtown. You can call them at 619-287-9410 or visit thompsonbldg.com.
Yep, they're right off the 94 freeway, and you're right. We had all these contractors there oohing and eyeing over different things in the showroom, and it's hard to get seasoned contractors to ooh and ah, but they definitely do at Thompson. So we're back here with Guild Mortgage. First time we've had you on the air, Danny. It's Danny Fitzpatrick. First, let me get the number that somebody would call to be able to ask you any question. I want to get that out there just so that people, I'm sure they're going to have a lot of questions.
Sure. It's 858-987-7849. I also have a website, loans4remodeling.com.
Loans4remodeling.com. Okay, that's awesome. So we're talking about loans for people to renovate their homes with, basically.
Right.
Okay. So give us a sense of what are some of the situations somebody might be in that they would want to access these loans?
So we offer a variety of products that allow different homeowners in different scenarios in their own perfect home that they want to create. And the biggest key to our program is we utilize what's called the after renovated value of a home. So if you've got a client today that owes $400,000, the home's worth $1 million, well, they can take out a home equity line of credit or do a cash out refinance to tap into the equity that already exists. There's a lot of times when you have a client that does not have the equity within their home to finance a $100,000, $200,000 remodel project. Well, if you're adding a bedroom, a bathroom, a second story, a pool, remodeling the entire home, we're going to use that after renovated value to basically create the equity that you need for your renovation project.
And I love these programs, and what I want to kind of get into is how the importance of a contractor that's approved, the lender, which is Guild, and the homeowner. That relationship is important as far as the whole process goes, because the contractor provides a plan and cost breakdowns. The homeowner has the home and hopefully equity, and then Guild puts it all together and is able to finance it. And especially when you add square footage, it adds value. So those kind of situations work well for home improvement.
Yeah, I could imagine a homeowner that is wanting to make an upgrade, or they've got a situation where their home has some kind of repair issue or something that they need, being able to do this, and because they're adding the value and the loan is taking that added value into consideration, it's something that they would never have been able to do without that that factor to it, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, in the past, a lot of clients would look and say, okay, well, I want to do a $200,000 remodel project. They find they don't have the equity within that home to pull it out. And most people don't have 100, 200,000, 300 laying around in accounts that they can utilize for these projects. A lot of them like to tap into the equity within their home, but if they don't have the equity, they basically walk away from that project.
But
where
even
we
if
don't
you-
have to have them walk away from that project any longer.
Right, but even if you do have the cash, you don't want to spend it. So,
Yeah, liquidating stocks and retirement accounts, you don't want to do that anyway. So you want to put it into one of these low 30-year fixed mortgage programs.
Greg, you do so many remodels at Murray Lampert. Is this something that you've seen used effectively and something that you would recommend to people to they look at as an option?
very effectively, and now there's these great programs, and homes are appreciating, and so it's much easier now because you take a home that is 1,500 square feet, and there's other homes in the area that are 3,000 square feet, and you add to your existing home, the comps are there to get the financing.
Yeah, what's the average cost per square foot that you would think for doing a 500 square foot addition? 200 square foot, 150, 250?
250 to
Yeah.
300.
But those homes, depending on where they are, might be valued at 300, 350, 400 a square foot. Every square foot you're adding, you're possibly adding value to that home.
So do you have both conventional and FHA versions of this?
We
or-
do, yep. So a client that maybe has some subpar credit issues or things like that, we can help them with FHA or conventional renovation products.
And Greg, going back to your experience with this, there are a lot of companies out there that do mortgages, that do loans. My sense is you would want a specialist in this, somebody that really knows this world rather than just it's part of a book of products they can potentially offer and they have to go look it up when they want to do this loan.
Absolutely, and that's why I just found Danny again after a while, and it was great to hook back up with him because he really is an expert in this field and can help my homeowners.
Yeah, this is all we do. I have a renovation team, and these are the only loans that we do, and it's basically all I've done for about the past 20 years is renovation financing, helping people build and renovate homes, and we offer the financing options for them.
Do you have stories you could tell? We don't have time to go into a lot of them, but are there people that didn't know about these that their whole world changed because you were able to offer this product?
Yeah, I mean, somebody's in escrow to buy a home, the inspection comes back, and there's a cracked slab, there's structural damage, there's mold, and they think their transaction, their escrow is falling apart because they don't know these loan programs exist. Well, if they can reach out and find me, we can lend on those homes. We can finance those homes in whatever condition it's in, close that loan, and all the renovations are done after the loan closing.
So somebody sitting at home right now listening to this, if they have a home that they really have wanted to do things to, and they really know that they either have some repairs or some upgrades to make it comparable to the other homes in the neighborhood, if they call you, will you walk them through this and show them what might be possible with it? And for a lot of people, maybe change their life based on that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we look at their scenario, we look and see what the best financing, and lots of times my financing option is not the best option, but we look for somebody who can help them.
Greg, this is an endorsement that you give, and I
Right.
think it's a great set of information for people to have. It's a great tool. So what is that number again, one more time for you to help educate people about this?
858-987-7849.
And what's the website?
Loans4remodeling.com, the number 4.
Danny, thank you so much for joining us today. This is new information. I think we want to have you back to cover this more because I think there's a lot of listeners that this could really, really benefit in a huge
perfect.
way. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on with us today. Greg, thank you for finding and bringing Danny on to be able to share this information.
Well, I knew it'd be really educational to our listeners, so thank you, Danny, for being on.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, we've got a few things going on today, and I want to just kind of recap because I want everybody to remember there is a Ace Hardware neighborhood paint sale going on. Heather's out at Forest Ranch. There's a huge paint sale going on at the Ace Hardwares, most of them across town, but definitely Forest Ranch. So head out there, see Heather. She's out there set up right now with Emily. Thank you, Emily, for everything you're doing. Paul Frankel, Perkins Custom Coatings, the consultative approach to give you the floor and coating that you need. You can always reach Paul at 619-333-8783 or find him at ApprovedHomePros.com. Phil with Jamar Power Systems and the Smart Home. My home is not too smart, but maybe Phil can make it that way. 619-333-8662. And lastly, Mr. Danny Fitzpatrick from Guild Mortgage, 858-987-7849 and ApprovedHomePros.com, where you can find all of that.
And I have a question for Phil. Can you make Sean smart?
I've been trying smart water and it hasn't helped. So, well, Phil, what can...
I know Sean, and Sean is smart.
Good answer. Good answer.
Greg, Cantor's Corner.
So I want to just talk about how important it is to do your research on materials, finishes for your home. And Thompson and Berger, both pros in our network, are great places to start. I just earlier talked about Thompson, how they just have everything from hard surfaces to beams to stucco products, stone products. So that's a good place to go. And then Berger Hardware, don't go to a big box store and buy door handles and door locks and those kind of things, because you want them to last. I mean, if you spend a few extra dollars, they're going to last a lifetime. And so both of these places are a great place to start, get ideas, and that way you know what things cost and there's no overruns during the project. And
do it early in the process, you always say, so you are able to have your builder help you, and they know how to put that into the cost and the whole plan. Murray Lamper Design Build Remodel, 619-500-9485. Again, 619-500-9485. Greg is our resident expert, and you're there to answer questions for people and help them with their remodeling needs. And here at Approved Home Pros, we say it all the time, but just as a reminder, if you're doing any home upgrade, home service, don't go it alone out there. Don't risk finding some company on the internet, on a one of those national lists, or just trying on Google. Go with us, because we're local, we screen, we vet, and our experts have identified the very best home improvement companies that are out there. Free, it's easy. So just log on to approvedhomepros.com and find the very best home improvement companies that are there. And check us out next week. We'll be here 9 o'clock on Kogo or on ABC 10. We are Approved Home Pros. Greg, thank you for a great show today.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.